So even when I do start to feel like I'm starting to care again about what people think about me, I remind myself of how much it doesn't matter. And it's never mattered and it's never going to matter. And I proceed to do whatever I was going to do in the first place with a renewed sense of freedom and, for lack of better words, an intensified feeling of not caring. So, also, Wild Woman to me, I have this thing called Stay Wild. Like, I use it on my trading platforms. I'm going to get a tattoo of it. And it's just a reminder for me to never let this world tame me. Never let the world tell me who I need to be or what I need to do or to conform at whatever age or stage I come to in my life, or even a partner. Never to lose that sense of freedom within myself, because that's where my greatest joy is. As I've gotten to know myself, I've learned that the most important thing to me in this life is freedom, because from there you can have everything else. But if you feel constricted, if you feel restricted by the constraints you're placing on yourself, or by what society's telling you to do, or your family or anybody's expectations of you, or even holding yourself hostage to the person that you used to be, and choosing to go down a path just because it's like, well, I've invested so much in it, so what? You can turn around at any second. And I've had to tell myself that when it's time to detach from situations where it's like, my heart's not in it anymore. When my heart is not in it, I have to go. That's just the way I operate, and it has not steered me wrong. So, am I happy as a 28-year-old childless woman? I do have a cat. She's going to be 3 next month. Well, technically, she turned 3 in May, but I celebrated in June because that's when I got her. So, yes, I am. And my favorite thing about it is at the end of every situation, like relation, whatever you want to call it, the one thing that brings me joy is like, at least I didn't get pregnant, you know? And that's just that'd be a great pick me up on a bad day or a bad night when you're really missing somebody, or you're feeling angry at them or at yourself for choosing to let it get as far as it did. Me reminding myself of that, it's like, well, yeah, you didn't get pregnant. I've never been pregnant, for the record, thank God. And it's because I've been very intentional about not doing that, because I've seen very early on as a child with my bigger cousins and aunts how much children impact your life and how much they require. And then I've somewhat been like a mother to my nieces and nephews, like a third mother. Me, my mom, and my sister, we all deal with the kids. And so it's 10 of them. And I feel like I've already been a mother. Like, I've been so closely involved with every stage of their development, from newborn all the way up to turning 18 and trying to find your way in the world. Like, I've had the talks with my nieces about them coming on their menstrual cycles. I had the talks with my nephews about using protection and making wise decisions and choosing a higher path for themselves. Like, I've done all of that. So there's part of me that's content in the fact that I don't have children myself because of that, but also because I'm not married, and I know that marriage doesn't guarantee that you're going to stay with the father or the mother, but it increases the odds. And for me, it's just a firm foundation. It doesn't necessarily have to be a marriage. It can be just a commitment, a decision to say, we're going to do this thing together, and we're going to do it until it no longer works for the people that we become. But on that same note, I'm a firm believer in the fact that people don't grow apart. People just decide to stop doing the work. And that's why I've been single for so long, because I'll meet a bunch of great guys, and in the beginning, they show up, they put their best foot forward, they're doing all the things, and then the consistency starts to lack, the intensity, which I need intensity, I need passion, I need affection, all those things. I'm such a lover girl, and I express that openly when I'm dealing with somebody, because tomorrow's never promised. And it just feels good for me to give that, because I know people need that love, like, in that appreciation and adoration. So I let myself get all carried away in it. And that has its downfalls, but it very much makes me feel alive. And so I enjoy that. But the effort factor. So that's my thing. Are we making a decision to grow together, to grow in spirituality, in God, or whatever you want to call it, and make this union successful in every right? Or are we just going to treat it casually because somebody is not ready to fully commit themselves to it? And I would rather have that conversation up front and them keep it 100, like, I'm looking for this, I'm not looking for this, this is what I want in the future, this is what I don't want. That way you save everybody's time. I've been saying that for years. There's somebody in this world who wants exactly what you want, no matter how strange you think it is. All you got to do is get on TikTok and search it, and it's going to be thousands of people that feel exactly the way you feel. So there's no reason to mislead people or to waste their time. And I think that's what happens with a lot of marriages. That's why so many of them end in divorce and failed relationships in general, is because people get comfortable, even women. And the one thing that I see, I guess we can touch on it because I'm already touching on it, is women who have children and they let themselves go. And I'm not saying this to be controversial or whatever. I'm just saying it because it's an observation. And even the women in my family, after we have kids, after 30, we tend to get stupid thick. Like my mom, I was her third biological child. And before me, she was skinnier than I am. And I'm like 130 on a good day. So by the time she had me, after that, that's when she got all her lady lusciousness going on. And I noticed that a lot of women, they get married or they have children or both, and then they just don't look as great. So I don't know all of the reasons, but I think one of them is they stop prioritizing themselves because they let the demands of motherhood overtake them. And I'm not saying that that's not a big task. It is huge, and it's so unfortunate because a lot of these same women that I'm mentioning, they have been in relationships or they've married men or have men who father their children who don't help, who treat them like a single parent when they're still living in the household. So they're carrying all this burden on themselves. But as a woman, it's your responsibility to ask for help and ask for your needs to be met. And when they're not met, you need to make a plan and leave. Especially if you're financially dependent on that person, immediately you need to start putting money away. You need to make a plan and know that you don't have to live this way. So don't use that as an excuse or a cop-out. Like, you deserve to look good because you deserve to feel good. Nobody wants to look in the mirror, especially with how much pregnancy just naturally changes your body and it'll never go back quite the same in certain aspects. Seeing that and feeling that and then continuing to see yourself fall apart inside and outside, I can only imagine how painful that is. And I pray that I never have to go through it. But my heart goes out to all those women. But that's also what I'm mentioning is a lot of women, like if you go on TikTok and search the boyfriend effect, they look so much worse after they get into a relationship. So I don't know if that's the woman getting comfortable. Like, you know how the guys will stop like opening doors and buying flowers. The woman might start going to bed with her old grandma gown with the holes in it, or she might start wearing a bonnet all day or not getting her hair done, not doing her skincare. Like, that's the equivalent of the male lack of effort and attention and consistency. And it's both wrong and it's trifling and it needs to stop. My thing is, I like to look good because I like to feel good. I like to look in the mirror even when I'm going to sleep. Like, some nights I sleep in my wig just because I want to wake up like, okay, yes, I woke up like this. And some days I'm like, I need some real good sleep, so I'm about to take this wig off. If I had a spouse or somebody I was sleeping with, I probably would like wear my wig most of the time. When I was dealing with somebody, I would just wear it. But it's not like he never saw my real hair, but it's just, I don't know. I have a thing about it. And then as a feminine, like, we're supposed to be enchantresses. Like, I don't want somebody to not see me at my best because I want them to stay attracted to me. And I want them to do the same for me. I want them to go to the gym. I want them to eat the right things, right? I want them to take care of their body so that they're able to stay with me a long time, so that they have the stamina, that they need to have. So that's me reciprocating what I look for in a partner. And so the other thing is, I've recently learned about this from this lady's YouTube channel. I'm going to tag her channel in the description. For those of you who are healers, who are spiritualists, who are practitioners, and you're looking to grow deeper in the knowledge of the occult, this is for you. Everybody else, is not for you, okay? If you're curious, check it out. But she goes into so many topics, and she's incredible. She's beautiful, and she has so much wisdom. But one of the topics she talked about is how when you're with the wrong man, it can steal your energy, like steal your luck, your beauty, and your magnetism. So what it does, she gave this physical representation. She had two cups. And so she said, I'm gonna use my bowl. So she said, this is you. In her wine glass, it was overflowing. This is an empty cup. This is the man. So this is a man, not just men in general, but this is a man that has negative energy, has bad luck, has a hard life because he's making poor decisions. He may have some past life karma that he's not clearing. He's refusing to do his soul work, right? But you, Miss Hiller, you come over with your cup full, and you decide to get intimate with this man. You give him your energy. In exchange, guess what? Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed. So you're absorbing his negative energy, which is not filling your cup. Y'all have sex some more, have sex some more, have sex some more. Next thing you know, this is empty, this is full. And guess what? Now you got pimples popping up. Now you got bacterial vaginosis. Now you're getting yeast infections left and right. You got back pimples, and you're gaining weight. And you're just not magnetic. People don't vibe with you the way they used to vibe with you. And why? Because that man had run off with all your stuff. And guess what he does with that energy? He takes your energy that makes him magnetic and makes him prosperous to attract women. So she said when the women are attracted to him, all of a sudden women start coming out the woodwork for him, right? If you notice, when you leave your ex, if you're a good woman and you left a man who wasn't good for you, and you saw how all of a sudden girls who never would pay attention to them, all of a sudden they're so fixated and they just want to be in his presence and they're all in his face. Or when you get with him, that's because they're trying to gain access to your energy through him. So then what happens? He gone for 6 months, maybe 3 months. Next thing you know, he's back on your line. It's not because he misses you. It's because he's craving some more of your energy. He's trying to run off with some more of your stuff. After you then sat over here and had to put yourself back together, after this negative exchange, it's so when I saw that video, it wrenched me in my spirit, because I've done that so many times. As a person who has a healing spirit and has magnetic energy, I attract so many broken people, not just men, women, children, like, and I'm honored. I truly am honored, and I appreciate it, but it is such a burden sometimes. But what you have to do is, and what I've learned to do and what I'm still learning to do, is practice my discernment, because you always know when somebody's not for you. But if you doubt it, your gut's going to tell you. But if you doubt that, your body's going to tell you, your physical body. You're going to start to have symptoms. You're going to have to take more naps. You're going to have to rest more. You'll find yourself falling back into poor habits. When you're with the right man, his positive energy is going to encourage you to grow as a woman, to prosper as a woman. And she said when you're with the right man and y'all are exchanging, like filling each other's cups up, source overflows your man's cup. And as you standing under him, not under some like patriarchal, whatever, but under him as a woman, you're catching all his overflow. And that's his blessing for treating you well. And that's why they say when a man findeth a wife, he findeth a good thing. And that's why we say we are the prize. And all of these sassy men out here are mad about it. But I ain't even going to go down this road, because we're not going on that topic on this podcast. But I just had to touch on it because I've seen it in my own life so many times, and it's heartbreaking to see it happening to women all over the world. And then by the time you let this man run off with all your stuff, and you've raised his kids, now you're older and you're feeling even more limited and edged out of society. And it's just a vicious cycle. So all my young ladies, don't let that be you. And all of my mature ladies, please pick yourself back up and know that it's not over. Like, there are women who are getting married in their hundreds, literally. I saw that. I saw that on Instagram like this past week. So keep hope alive, okay? But I say all that to say, yes, I am happy and I love my freedom. Is it lonely sometimes? Absolutely. And it's seldom that I deal with loneliness because I'm such an energetic person. I keep myself entertained. I always have work to do. But I'm not the type of person that likes to distract myself with work 24/7. It's not healthy. That's not the way I want to live my life, and it's not sustainable. So I do my best to try to get my emotional and physical needs met in ways that don't sacrifice my energy and get me going down the road that I know I shouldn't be going down. Even though some nights, I slip. But nobody's perfect. I gotta work it. Okay, no. So every day I'm just still trying. And I do have hope that I'll meet a great guy or great girl or both someday. And while we're on that topic, I guess we can go ahead and talk about my sexuality or whatever. If y'all are curious, just because people be curious, I like beautiful people. I've always liked beautiful people since I was a very young person. And I've had experiences with men and women. I've never been in a relationship with a woman. That's something that I would try. I don't want to say try like it's an experiment, but try as in like give it a go. But I've heard negative things about it. I've heard positive things about it, just like heterosexual relationships. So, yeah. But I do have hope still because I'm magnificent. But I'm not going to force it. And if I have to die alone, I would rather die happy and alone than in a relationship and miserable and wishing, hoping, and praying for somebody to change that's never going to change because they have free will. So, what else did I want to talk about in this episode? Oh, choosing to be childless. One of the things people talk about a lot is like, oh, you're not going to have somebody to take care of you when you're old. Well, baby, I'm a nurse. I worked in so many nursing homes, and guess what? Their children are the ones who put them there, and they never come to visit them. So if you're some woman who is afraid, or a guy who's afraid, and you don't want children, but you're afraid of that, that's a false narrative, and don't believe it. And first of all, you shouldn't have kids just for them to like take care of you in your old age. That's not their responsibility, really. Like, that's not the reason to have a child. And that's why I think more people need to consider why they're doing what they're doing, even when it comes to marriage, especially when it comes to having children, though. Why are you making this commitment? Are you doing it because you want the photos? You want to just say you have a ring on your finger to make you feel better than your friends? Are you doing it because you're lonely and you feel like a baby is going to make sure that the relationship stays together? Like, consider your motives for these big life decisions, and don't let anybody press you and tell you that, oh, the clock is ticking. Like, baby, the clock is ticking and talking and I'm still rocking. Like, so what? If it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen. There's so many ways to have children. You can always adopt a child. You can have a surrogate. Like, for all my young women out there, my 20-somethings, my 30-somethings, focus on what makes you happy. That's the best thing you could do for your future children if they are to exist, for your future spouse. That's how you bring in those things anyway. It's focus on you. Take the focus off of letting men be the center of your attention. It's challenging, I know, especially when you're ovulating and when you've been celibate for a year or more or whatever. It's challenging, and not saying you can't be casually involved with people. Again, there's a risk there. So assess their energy before you go and engage that way. But there's so much more to life than children and husbands. So much more to life. Is that extremely beautiful when it's a harmonious situation with children and spouses? Absolutely. It's beautiful. I cry when I see it. I love it. I love to see it. And I love to know that children are growing up in homes that are not broken, homes that are happy and nourishing and nurturing, because that's going to do such great things for humanity and the planet. But don't get yourself stuck in a situation you don't have to be in the first place. Also, if I never had kids, would I be okay with it? Yes, I would be okay with it because, like I said, I already feel like I've dealt with it with my nieces and nephews. Like, when I tell y'all, like, I was waking up making bottles, like doing all of the things. So I'm okay. And I would love to feel the sensation of like a baby growing in my belly and seeing my pregnancy glow. But like I said, first things first when it comes to that is it has to be a man that I can trust with that. First of all, trust with me, but trust to be there when things get hard. Trust to help out when it's 4 or 5 in the morning or 2 in the morning or 6 in the morning or whatever at midnight and the baby is crying, the baby's hungry. And it's like, okay, I didn't lay down and do this by myself. So can you please, like, I don't want to have to beg somebody to babysit their child. Or I've just seen it all. And I would rather just stay away from it than to get involved with the wrong person in my life, become a living hell. Because once you have a child with somebody, it's like you're tied to them for decades and even beyond, depending on what happens with the child. So it's just something to take your time with. Know that if it's a rush, if a man is rushing you to have a baby, guys, if a woman is rushing you to marry her, the answer is always no. Not until you feel ready in your spirit. And you will know when you want to secure that person. Don't let fear stop you. Don't let, oh, they're too good to be true stop you, because you've been manifesting this person. So when they come along, do not fumble the bag because they seem too good to be true. Don't always be looking for something to be wrong with them. Just know that you're a good person and your person finally came around. Hooray, congratulations. Go live happily ever after. Don't let your past traumas ruin this for you. Like, just don't do it, because ain't no telling when you're going to find another one. So don't let them be the one that got away. And if you're a childless woman or you're a childless man, like what's I would love to know, like, what the male perspective is on, like, children and marriage, and what are the men's motives behind getting married. So if y'all want to chat that up in the comments with me, I would be more than interested to know. I know a lot of my viewers are guys, so I would love to know y'all perspective on it. Not on women and childless women or women who don't want to get married, but your perspective as a man who may not want those things either. So until next time, stay connected. Leave a thumbs up if you like this video. If you have any more questions for me, if y'all want me to do like a get to know me video, now that the channel is starting to grow more, I'm open to doing that. If you ever need one-on-one help, if you're struggling mentally, emotionally, and you need a prayer or just somebody to vent to, hit me up. Stay connected on IG and TikTok at The World of Taj. Until next time, your favorite wellness coach signing out. Peace. Oh, we didn't do our mindful minute. Do y'all mindful minute, okay? I love y'all.